Hi everybody, today I'm going to be doing my cup and this.
The tether satellite turns out to be a power generator producing a high voltage and being dragged from space.
Oh shit.
This seems to have disrupted the balance of plasma in the upper atmosphere. And these critters, or animals that exist in space,
First we're going to add
This is
this.
a fact of the matter. We were really not sure
I'm going to
after
get my
John
toothbrush.
flew whether or not there were critters, living critters, out there somewhere. Critters that were captured by NASA on that mission, the STS-75, in 1996. In all my considerable experience of the entire UFO scenario, I have never seen and never expected to see footage like that. And least of all did I expect to see it on film or tape that had been exposed by the government in a NASA mission. The shuttle Columbia in this mission was equipped with a very sophisticated and expensive ultraviolet camera. It was sensitive to the near ultraviolet. And when they were up at 300 miles above the atmosphere, they launched from the Columbia a small satellite with a tether. Not long after it was launched, the tether broke.
We'll record steadily the whole break and call it back with the tether. Copy, Claude. Here you go.
Concealer.
Give us a view of the satellite.
Well, if it had to break, it did it in the right place.
And you see on this astonishing film, you tether, which is 12 miles long, straightens out into a long white line, which you can hang on a whole covey of UFOs, perhaps 3 dozen of them, manifest to this ultraviolet camera.
Today I'm not going to be adding
with UFO
mascara
tracking
because
analysis
last time I
reveals the
got
flight
mascara
paths
all
of
over
the objects
my face.
traveling forward, coming to a complete stop, and then traveling back where they came from. The maneuvers that these objects are making take an enormous amount of energy.
On with UFOs since day one. Materialization and dematerialization. It's going on in this film, 300 miles above the Earth, photographed by your government with your astronauts superintending the whole thing.
You should put extended the tether. Tommy Houston has a much better view, a lot more contrast.
This film proves our government has known about UFOs and that they have been filming and monitoring them since at least the early 1950s.
By viewing this film, you now have at your fingertips a way to find out more about Earth and what exists just a few hundred miles above us and in the farthest reaches of outer space. We wish to acknowledge Marcus Stubbs for opening the window of truth about UFOs from outer space.
My name is Mike Barra, and basically I've had a fascination with space and aliens and UFOs and things since as long as I can remember, since I was a little kid. In the 1960s, I was just 4, 5, 6 years old, and I remember watching the rocket launches on TV, the Gemini missions, the Apollo missions, and I remember always thinking that there was something that they weren't showing us, that there was a greater mystery to the whole thing than we were being allowed to see on TV. And I don't know where that thought came from or why it was embedded in me, but it always was. I can distinctly remember the Apollo 11 moon landing when Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon for the first time in human history, or at least in this version of humanity's history. And I remember thinking, why is this just some crappy black and white picture? Why isn't it color? We had a color TV in my home. We were lucky in those days. And I asked my dad, who was an engineer at Boeing, why don't they have it in color? Why is it just this really terrible black and white TV picture? And he said, well, I really don't know, because the distance involved doesn't make that much difference. The TV signal is still going to be strong enough. So he didn't know the answer. And that shocked me, because my dad always knew the answer to engineering questions like that, and it really stirred my curiosity, and it got me thinking more and more that there was more to NASA and the space program and what was out there than we were being told, and it really reinforced that inherent belief that I feel like I was almost born with. So then, things progressed. We went to Mars. The Viking missions happened. I just distinctly remember the face on Mars when it was first a big shock in the newspaper that this thing looked like a human head on the surface of Mars. And I remember the whole controversy, and they said, oh, well, we took another picture a couple of hours later, and it all just was like shadow, and that was the official position within NASA. And
Bye.
gosh,